Well, today is day 8 of hunting. It seems a bit redundant at this point, and it's about midday or so. Yeah, about 1 o'clock local time. I'm out to that area that I had scouted out yesterday, and it's a big area. I think I showed you guys yesterday. If not, I'll show you again. Let's see. See that far ridge over there? Scout that, and then over here too. Scout that, and over here too. And then about 3/10 of a mile behind me is a whole nother ridge line that I can scout from the top, and it has those flowers. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit in the truck for a while, scout from the truck, and every hour or two kind of back up and check over there for a little bit, since it's only backing up about 2 or 3/10 of a mile. That way I don't screw up what's in front of me by driving through it, and I can try and hit 2 areas at once. Now, today being day 8, tomorrow's my last full day that I can hunt. I have to be out of the Airbnb by 11 a.m. the following day. So, if I don't see one, there's a weather front that's coming in. It's coming in, let's see, Friday. Thursday is supposed to go from a high of 85 to a high of 72 on Friday, then a high of 61 on Saturday, and a high of 53 on Sunday, with rain every one of those days. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm leaning towards staying and living out of the back of my truck for a few days to see if that weather pattern does a change in the bears and makes them move more. And I may just back my truck up to this spot where I'm at, that I'm nosed in right now, and lay in the back on my queen size bed with the lid of the topper open, and just spend countless hours sitting back there watching the area, seeing if anything moves. That's how I spotted one within 10 minutes at Lewis and Clark National Forest next to Glacier National Park. That's comfortable. I mean, I could stay out of the rain. I've got my Jackery, the Starlink Mini. Be very comfortable back there. Be able to spend hours eating, hanging out, and just waiting. And then maybe, if nothing changes over those few days of weather, then maybe I head back. But ideally, something happens before then. Not my favorite thing as far as sleeping in the back of that truck. It's comfortable, but at my age, I have to squeeze up, to kind of squeeze out to get out the door or out the window, kind of without having to drop the tailgate. So it's not 100% comfortable. It's not ideal. It's not like the Airbnb I'm in right now, which is phenomenal. But we'll see. Hopefully today I'll bring a bear, and this is the perfect area to harvest it from, with these gentle slopes. I mean, it would be a lot easier here than some of these steep mountain slopes. And I was thinking this morning, I've seen 4 bear on this trip so far, and none, for whatever reason or another, are ones that I've been able to harvest. So, going to keep up the good fight and see where it goes. But today is midday on day 8. It's about 2.5 hours before sunset, and a good sign I'm looking at a female elk right now working her way towards me across the clearing, which is good because I'm standing outside my truck but using the door to break up my body line, and she's still coming towards me. She's probably 200 yards away, so that's a great sign. Wish I could show you. Let's see if you can see her way over there. Over in the woods, dead ahead. First big animal I've seen since I got here around 1 o'clock. still heading this way. Beautiful. She's heading down to that creek line. And that's where I'm hoping that the bears go as well. Look at her running this way. Beautiful animal. Boy, if I can get a bear to approach like this, it would be amazing. She's working her way down into a little ridge where I don't have visibility on her, which would be even ideal for a bear because that would give me time to then put on my stalk. That means he couldn't see me. And as long as the currents keep taking my scent uphill, it would be an easy way. Although, right now she's probably out. Let me grab the rangefinder. Where you at, girl? 183 yards. Not bad. Not bad. Now 150. Easy shot on a bear right there. Perfect. She's got to see the truck. It's huge. Now 130 yards. And she's going to go underneath that lip from me. That would be amazing. And there she goes. Man, that would be perfect if a bear does that later. Oh my gosh, I'd be so excited. Alright, wish me luck. 2 more hours to go before sunset. Usually they come out an hour before, so based on what I've seen 2 in an hour before, and I've seen 2 in the middle of the day. Alright, I just spotted another bear. It's 10-15 minutes before sunset. This thing's a little bit smaller than I think. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna make a run at him right now. I'll let you know. Well, I'm sure as you can guess, since I'm sitting here, it didn't happen. So, I'll be honest with you, as I've mentioned when I first spotted, it was pretty small. It would have been a legal bear, but I didn't feel right about it. Back home that'd be like shooting a 3-inch spiked buck. It's a teenager. That's not what I came here for. And I just didn't. I would not feel good as an individual. You know, if I'm going to put an animal down, I want it to be a quick, ethical kill, and I want it to be one that's, you know, fully matured, not taking a teenager, for a lack of a better term. So yeah, that marks my 5th bear that I've seen on this trip so far. I am going to go back there tomorrow and hope that he's got an older, bigger brother, or maybe find his papa. But that's a good sign. I am figuring out yet another thing, and I need to look at Onyx as far as figuring out if there was water nearby and the elevation it was at. But it was about half an hour before before sunset, and I realized the areas that I've been glassing all day long, if I spotted one, some of the distance was 1,200 yards, and I was going to be, there was no way I was going to get over there, put a stalk on, and possibly harvest an animal, or make the shot, and even then harvest one in that time frame. And so I decided to bounce along from clearing to clearing quickly with my binoculars, just jumping out of the truck, checking the clearing real quick, and then driving to the next one, because there were several in a row. And that's when I found that smaller bear. You know, I always see these videos where these guys are doing the spot and stalk, and they'll sit there for 19 hours or something crazy, and it's just beautiful, you know, mountain scenery. And I think we've all seen those videos on YouTube, and it just looks like a dream come true, right? Just to sit there and enjoy that. And that's really what I wanted out of this trip. I guess I was naive in some ways. You know, when I get up here and you know, the guy selling me the license, I said, you know, I'm kind of a fatter old guy. I'm just looking to try and figure out a way to get a bear. I don't want to hike in 6 miles. He goes, look, around here things are great. There's forest roads everywhere. A lot of the guys just drive around in their truck, spot one, and then go for it. Well, now I kind of realize what he's talking about. You know, I think they're literally doing what I did, which was bounce from clearing to clearing to clearing. When that last golden hour of the day, looking for a bear that can quickly put a stalk on. I mean, I sat there for 7 hours today. I did see, you know, a beautiful elk. Got to watch that. But I'm wondering if I'm just wasting my time being up there, because the other one that I spotted was an hour and 10 minutes before sunset, right? And this one was probably 15 minutes before sunset. So I think I'm going to head out to the field a little bit later tomorrow. I'm going to start packing my stuff, because tomorrow's day 9, my last full day. I got to be out of the Airbnb on day 10. And who knows, I might stick around a day or two and go into overtime and live out of the truck. I don't know. But we'll play that card when it gets. We'll make that decision when the time gets here. But for now, every day seems to be a little bit more of a learning experience. I really appreciate you guys being along with me on this. I have learned that this little tiny Osmo action camera is probably not what I need to try and show you game at 100, 200, 300 yards away. It's just not the right thing. I do have a DSLR at home with a long telephoto lens that would have been great for stuff like this, but that's something that's huge to drag around. So forgive me for not being like a lot of the other guys that have this giant budgets and cameramen that can follow them all around. I'm just some small guy trying to figure out life and enjoy it to the fullest. So with that, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I am excited to yet find another bear today. It's always a good thing. And I think I made the right decision in letting that teenager go. I don't think I would have been able to live with myself just to say I shot a bear. All right, catch you tomorrow.